think the primary reason why everyone is talking about ASTS SpaceMobile is because the company is one of the most innovative companies in the world, developing broadband internet from space. But more than just what it's trying to do is the company's ability to execute on that plan. The management team has done a great job in hitting milestones, and that's raised investor confidence. So I wanted to dig deeper here and understand more about why everyone is talking about this Space Mobile company.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So the management team highlighted their plans. It's to activate initial cellular broadband capabilities in the United States, Europe, and Japan on premium low-band wireless spectrum together with partners like AT&T, Google, Rakuten, Verizon, and Vodafone, as well as other players in the wireless ecosystem. And they already have strong demand from these partners who are waiting for the company to develop the technology, deploy the satellites, and start generate revenue almost from day one. The company has highlighted that the key to starting revenue acceleration is to develop their technology, to launch the technology, put it into service, and the demand is ready, waiting for the company for this technology. One of their biggest opportunities is with US governments, and they continue to span their opportunity here by ramping up activity against their $43 million contract in support of the United States Space Development Agency. Now, these contracts are lucrative, especially for early stage companies like ASTS SpaceMobile. It gives the company an early revenue stream. It gives the company legitimacy because other companies look to this company and say, well, if you have a deal with the US government, that's pretty stable. You've proven a certain level of technology. And so we'll be willing to partner with you. So it helps them secure supplier contracts. It helps them attract talented people. It helps them with investors to generate capital increases. It helps them in many ways to secure that contract with the United States government. So investors will be happy to hear that all of their key elements of their business are progressing as expected or have accelerated to meet the customer demand. So they're either on schedule or ahead of schedule across their critically important milestones. And that's good to hear. That's one of the reasons why everyone is talking about this company is because they've set ambitious targets for themselves and they've either hit those targets or exceeded those targets. And that's something that investors grow to appreciate. I appreciate a management team that communicates with investors their plans and timelines and executes on those plans and timelines. I don't appreciate when management teams overestimate their ambitions or overestimate their schedules and forecasts and then fails to meet those deadlines and fails to hit those forecasts repetitively. I grow to distrust those kinds of management teams, and it's one of the reasons why I'm less optimistic on Tesla stock than most of the investor community because of how often Tesla's management team has set forecasts and targets for key technologies and completely missed those forecasts and missed those targets and missed those revenue targets and missed the cost of production targets several times. And I lose trust with that kind of investor, that kind of management team. And that's not what I'm seeing here with ASTS SpaceMobile. I'm seeing a management team that's hitting or exceeding expectations, and that's a good habit to start in its early days of development. They go on to say that they expect positive momentum to compound at record speeds for the months and quarters ahead. By the way, the document I'm reading from here is the company's most recent earnings call transcript with Wall Street Analyst, and I have this available for channel members. All channel members have access to this, and you can get access to my channel for less than $5 a month. I think it's a great deal. I have these highlighted transcripts available. I have dozens of member exclusive videos, early access videos. I think it's a great deal, one of the best deals on YouTube. They go on to say that their gateways serve as a precursor to the rollout of their Space Mobile service. In the first quarter, they saw gateway equipment bookings of 13.6 million. and they expect on average about 10 million every quarter in 2025. So already tens of millions of revenue, tens of millions of bookings, and potentially hundreds of millions in revenue backlog for ASTS SpaceMobile. That's why I mentioned at the beginning of the video that demand is waiting for this company. They just need to continue to develop and launch these satellites into orbit and get the service rolled out. That's why the management team said one of the areas they've accelerated is manufacturing so that they can hurry up and get this technology up because demand is ready and waiting for the company. They don't want to miss out on that opportunity. They want to hit those targets. They want to start generating revenue because that will help them meet further ambitions for continued growth. I like the way they explained their technology. Their ground-based gateways receive signals from their satellites and seamlessly link those signals into the networks of their mobile operating partners. They were recently granted special temporary authority from the FCC for their public safety band 14 spectrum, so they can begin activating test services to deliver speed-based cellular broadband connectivity, supporting features critical to first responders. So they're already testing this. They've gotten approval from the FCC. Again, another point of evidence that their technology is working and has good potential to work effectively. They're already getting interest from these services that rely for this technology in critically important categories, right? First responders are emergency services and they need this thing to work. And that's important to them. The technology working is most important to them. Not so much cost, but the technology working. And that's a good sign that you have a technology that's highly regarded when services that rely on working to be the number one buyer, the number one demand buyer. So they're not, in this case, they're not serving customers looking at a lower priced option for a technology. So they're not looking for that. They're looking for the technology that works the best, regardless of price. And that's where ASTS SpaceMobile is fitting into this industry, is technology that works, right? Because if you have wireless in the United States, in some areas you might have great connection, in other areas you might have no connection. And that's unacceptable for emergency services. So, a really interesting company here, one of the most innovative. I'm really rooting for their success. These types of technologies aims to improve people's lives and improve technology that people use every day. And it's going to become even more important as people are using their smartphones more and more frequently because of the rising effectiveness of AI. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock. And this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.